Bonjour. Hello everyone. This video is to show you how to access Zoom from our homepage. So this is the Canvas shell, which it says development. It will look differently when you see it. On the homepage, you will have this page here with a lot of information, and there are a couple of ways to access Zoom. So you can click on this link here where it says Zoom, or down here the URL. There's also a personal link name, which is just my name, Myra Lerma. Now, if you have never used Zoom before, when you click on this link, it'll prompt you to open up, well, it's asking me to open Zoom meetings because I have it downloaded. If you do not, you can download and run Zoom here, and I recommend you do that because we will be using Zoom pretty regularly. You can also join from your browser, which is a good option. Let's say you're borrowing a computer for the day, or maybe you're at someone else's house, etc. Now, because I already have Zoom installed, I can go here, start Zoom. And you have this option here, a little plus sign, it says join. Now, when it says join a meeting, you can add the meeting ID or the personal link name. So this is if you're not using the URL. So if you go back to the home page, that would basically be this. So it's my name. So that's what we will put there. That way it's kind of easy. So we'll type the link name. And then this gives you an option to, this is what this account is called. I'm using two accounts to show you how it works. Sample student is what I put, but of course, if you're using someone's device, it could say something like ThinkPad or iPad or whatever you're using. You can type in whatever you want to be called. So your ideally first and last name here. And then we can join. You have an option of do not connect your audio and turn off your video. We'll talk a little bit more about this. Ideally, your audio should only be turned on when you're talking. The video, hopefully you can have on most of the time. So now we're going to join with video. And here we go. So I'm using Zoom in two devices, and just so I can show you. This is the message that you'll get when you log in to Zoom just before I begin the class. So I'm going to admit on the other end, and soon I should appear on your screen. There we go. Bonjour, there I am. All right, so how does this work? This is what Zoom looks like, and if you've had a chance to use it already, you're probably well familiar with it. It's pretty easy to use. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm using Zoom on my phone. Okay, so the big things that you'll want to know are here. A couple of things. If you are not talking, we'll want you to be muted. You can click on that pretty quickly. Then there's also the stop video function. If you click it, looks like that, and your video goes away. Ideally, in this class, we will definitely want to use the video because we are going to want to see our faces. There is kind of a cool feature. If you go here next to stop video, and you go to choose virtual black background, you can change whatever's behind you, so you can have a different image. The typical ones that come with Zoom are something like this, which you see there in San Francisco. You've got this, you can be in space. I downloaded one with the Eiffel Tower. And there's also a few others, so you can basically put any picture there. As long as it's not a very distracting background, I think anything would work just fine. You don't have to use a background, but if you would like to, you're more than welcome to. Now, a couple of cool things we're going to be using. One is going to be the chat feature. This basically can send a message to everybody in the class, and it'll be useful for me to ask you guys questions as like yes, no, and because otherwise it's really hard to talk all at once. So here you can say something like, where do I go to raise my hand? Let's say there was a question. So now this kind of is sent to everyone. And on my end, I can type in an answer. Say, go to, oh. So there is a cool feature where you can raise your hands and show me. There you go to participants. Took me a long time to type that. So when you click down here below at the bottom, it says participants, and I'll show you everybody who's in the class. Right now it's just myself, the two people. When you're the host, you don't have all these options. That's why I'm using a different account. But as a student, you have this little feature here. It says raise hand, and it leaves your hand up. Now on my end, it alerts me that you have a question. So when you do that, it shows up on my screen. So it's pretty helpful for me. And you can also just click it again to lower it. Other things here are useful for, let's say I ask a question. I say, did everybody understand that? And you can click yes, or no, or can you please go slower? Ideally, we can do this via chat and talk as well, but these are some options. You can also do a thumb up, and when you do the thumb up, it'll eventually come down on its own. There's also reactions down at the bottom, down here, and this one actually shows up on the screen. So this is good for like the gallery view when everybody's visible. Speaking of which, up here at the very top where it says speaker view, and there's gallery view. Gallery view means that you see a little box of everyone, kind of like the Brady Bunch of everybody in the class. Speaker view means that the person who's currently talking is highlighted. So they both can work out. It just kind of depends on the situation. Down here, we have something called share screen. You'll notice that it's going to say it's disabled. It's a feature I'll be using mostly. You may or may not be using it if you wanted to show us something on your computer, like as a project or something. But for now, it won't really be necessary. So big things to remember are the chat feature. And again, if you click on those, they go away. Chat feature and participants. Having those two open will be really, really useful during class. And then again, here on the left, making sure you know how to mute yourself and unmute yourself. So you mute, has a little red line, and then you can use the space bar to unmute yourself quickly when you talk. I also have the ability to mute you, which sometimes I might do at the beginning because it's background noise can make it kind of hard to hear. If you have a dog barking or it's trash day or I don't know, you live with other people, which we probably all do. So that's basically how we will be using Zoom, and this is going to be our little virtual classroom. So I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Au revoir.